discussion we've been having here in the LCK so much since he was buffed and has come back to power. And that's why you see the Azir ban coming through here. That's why you see the ban on the LeBlanc, because she gives you a lot of burst power later on in the game. And the Victor, even though he's a lot less meta nowadays, is a champion that Faker's very familiar with and does scale extremely well.
Which was overlooked from the side of T1. They wanted to take a different route after first picking the Viego.
Yeah.
Straight into the bottom lane of course, Ziggs and Trundle.
We mentioned it earlier, but it's good to mention again now, as I know a lot of people have shown up and are tuning in, but Fate was leading into this series 4-0 career against Fate, where he's now 5-0. And he's a player that has often been overshadowed, right, by the greats, the legends, Faker himself. You know, we see a lot of people discussing BDD as, you know, the mid laner for Gen G, who had amazing performances throughout his career on other teams as well, and in the playoffs was what carried them to that victory, actually, against T1 that led them to the finals. And you obviously have to talk about Chovy when you're talking about top mid laners, but Fate has kind of, I think, somehow been left out. He's been neglected, and he hasn't really been in that conversation. I know you've been, you know, a big champion of his in the past, especially earlier on this year, but he's really starting to come into his own. And when you put him on champions like the Rise, where he can carry, you put him on Lucian, where he's going to have a nice amount of prio, he's got a lot of power. Is T1 going to look for a very early fight here with this Trundle pick?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a trade you can take if you get the jump from the brush. Generally, you don't want to fight against Braum level 1, but if you don't have vision of you,
he's like, I'm going to hit him real hard, real fast.
Yeah, Trundle can do some funky stuff early on, especially, you know, in this meta of so many tank supports and melee supports. Like, this is the perfect time to play Trundle support. And
it really is.
I mentioned the synergy between Ziggs and Trundle. I mean, it's a real thing.
It really is.
We're going to be seeing it, and Varus is not going to be having a good time.
Especially when you trade early at level 1 like this, the damage from Ziggs starts to really stack up, and then you actually have kill pressure as you continue to trade like this. And every single time Keria gets a chance to proc his Hail of Blades, get those auto attacks through, he's just going to do so much damage. Like 1, 2, 3. Yep. Like, that's what he's looking for. And then Gumayusi's like, okay, well, now you've actually burned your heal.
Yeah. And there it is. They hit level 2, and that is the pillar into flash from the Varus. What did I just say?
Yep.
This guy, he's going to be the champion that has the most issues, the most trouble against this duo.
It's insane how much this power that you have in the early game with this comp is amazing, because it relieves all sorts of pressure that you have to deal with. You know, in a lot of matchups as the Ziggs, just not even an issue. You just push, but with the Trundle, you have kill pressure. Like, you can actually force these summoner spells early. Gorilla was the last person to sadly lose versus Hachani.
In 2016, okay? Almost 1,800 days, 1,799, and Gorilla's with us today.
Yeah.
On the analyst desk.
I'm sure he's got a lot to say about it.
It's perfect. We've come full circle, and guess who's also come full circle? We got the smite immediately from Grocko. Nice response, and he gets over the wall. He'll be fine. That's some wasted time for Owner. Thought he would find an opportunity to get in there, but that's not going to be the case, as here we go again. This is what you can do. You can get the satchel in, you can get the pillar in, but Varus will never be having fun. That is the one consistent.
Yeah, this Braum pick just doesn't end up being all too amazing here when you consider T1's composition. You could tell he is really pivoting quite hard when he locks in the heal here. The Prince did take teleport. That's the trade-off. So, you know, Effort's like, well, I don't know how useful Exhaust is going to be into this composition per se. You have the Viego, you have the Lee Sin, but I'll hold that thought because Owner is lurking.
Yeah. He got one other camp between when he last showed his face and now, as they're trying to clear this one, but the teleport is coming in from the base. It's Faker 4v2 into the bottom side. First blood is given over. Gumayusi tanks 2 turret shots, and he'll flash away from Fate as well. That is clean to pick up the first blood.
Yeah, this is really massive for T1. Yes, you do lose your flashes, Gumayusi, but you're using this power that you have with the Trundle Ziggs so effectively. And because Prince took teleport, he actually has to go over here and clear this wave because it's not a great place to be to teleport right back to lane himself. So they're going to swap here for just a moment so that Fate can catch that wave. So they're trying to maximize, or rather minimize, how much CS they lose because of this exchange. But that's first blood going over to Owner here. And this is the kind of tempo, right, that we know T1 likes to play with this 11th roster. And again, their composition scales so well, but there still is so much power in the support Trundle pick. There's so much power, you know, with this Lee Sin early on, that if you maximize that, it just becomes so easy. You can kind of coast through the mid game, and that's exactly what they're looking to do here. Well, this series has just had a little bit of everything. Love to see the variety here, different play styles. As we are going to see Faker also pick up Dark Seal in this game, so that's something that could even be an issue further.
It's one way to keep this snowball rolling.
Teleport comes through here from him. Just enough extra damage here as Gumayusi goes down very low. Has the presence of mind to know that it's very likely Lucian's coming, sees him on the ward, and backs off as this continues.
Okay, he's not gonna get too spicy with that one. He tried to go for the pillar stop, but even with Owner coming over it, maybe he could have actually extended that effort with no flash. But either way, it's still just doing annoying trundle things. And Owner, he knows where his bread is buttered. He's like, okay, where should I be? Is it the bottom lane or the bottom lane?
Yeah.
And he's there again.
Or
with this Infernal Drake.
Is it the bottom lane?
Take a look at Faker's win rate on Victor, 21-5.
A lot of those from a bygone era, but some of them from this year, of course, as Victor did become popular again.
Yeah, especially in spring.
Yeah. And we had a lot of control mages during that time. You know, that's when UCal was still playing. This is not where you want to be.
Yeah, the Braum is so important for trying to keep this alive. He's trying to turn it around, and Keria gets pretty low. Gumayusi trying to kite it out, and he's nearly got the damage.
Summit has teleport, but there's no ward. If Summit had a ward to teleport on behind them there's a huge opportunity, but he just simply doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Look at where he is on the map right now. He's like, oh, I wanted to hide that I was porting in, but now he's just like, oh, well, now I just have to go clear this wave. This is terrible.
Oh, here we go again. Prince, he's going to have to flash away, and he turns it around. He's the one that 1v2s. And now there's a Gwen on top of Gumayusi, but Owner's here. Kako has to be careful as the damage is coming out. Owner, that's going to be the pick onto Ziggs. This is on a knife's edge. Owner looking for the Q. He will not get it as Prince, with the reverse psychology, goes straight in a line and does not try to dodge.
High-level play we're watching right now between these two teams, and somebody is going to look for a trade here onto Kana.
Yeah, he's continuing going. That's a really nice extended trade here. It's going to push Kana out of the lane. As here we go again.
Okay, this might be a bit far.
Oh, the minions at the Arcane Comet!
The Comet kill! I've seen everything! I've seen everything! Oh, well, that's massive. That's a lot of extra gold going over to Gumayusi here.
I wonder if he just hit 6 as well. I mean, the lane was pushing
He did,
in.
because, you know, we'll watch a replay of it, no doubt, but you saw Prince hit 6 just moments before at that exact time he needed to get the Chain of Corruption to finish so he could actually survive. Then it was the follow-up 6 from Gumayusi that ends up killing him.
Waiting for mana. I think he was like really low on mana. We're definitely going to have to get another look at that one because he waited until like right at the right moment. You could also wait until Prince starts hitting the minions, and maybe that's when you know he's going to be kiting.
Watch how this all goes down, because Prince is, like I said, about to hit 6, right? Flashes here, hits the perfect arrow, kills Keria, and then is able to hit 6 off this wave to survive long enough. Or he survives long enough here with that, look at it, 6 Chains of Corruption, and he's like, I'm out of here.
Wants Ziggs.
And then the Q is just barely dodged, and Gumayusi,
he just got the mana.
Just had the mana.
Yeah.
So 5 left there, so we'll hit 105.
There it is. And that's all you need. You get the job done. And yeah, the Sunbox, they're just going to go ahead and take this Rift Herald, but
I don't know
T1 don't care.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it, actually. Or, like, the trade is bad.
Stirred is dead.
Like, you don't have a choice, though, because I don't think you can actually defend this.
Watch this.
Oh, it's definitely going to die. The question is, do they kill anybody else with it?
All right, he has Satchel. There it is. Down it goes. 9:05. That's the timing on that one right after the Rift Herald goes down, and that is so much gold into the Ziggs already.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Prince, he just has to sit back and catch the wave here. It's going to be T1 grabbing the Drake. It's a solo Rift. Okay, they're going to teleport for this, and I think they should.
They're getting in here, and Owner, it's going to be up to him, and he gets it done. There it is. Job done. Gets the dragon and gets out.
So terrible here for Live Sandbox, because now you've wasted a teleport. You don't get the Drake. It's a solo Drake going over to T1. They get out just in time. The timing of this is so poor for them. They're just a little bit off. And now Gumayusi's got his mask online, right? He's got Leandri's, so he's going to be doing so much more damage. He's already been pretty oppressive, but guess where he's going? I already conquered the bottom lane. It's time to take over the top side of the map. He's going to head up there. And for Live Sandbox to deal with this, it's going to require so many resources. And that's the other reason why this Victor pick is so fantastic, because while you're trying to put resources into dealing with this Ziggs, Faker gets free farm. He's up against a Lucian right now, almost 20 CS. And the issues start to compile upon themselves here.
Take a look at the item difference between the Ziggs and the Victor, by the way. Faker's got more farm. It doesn't matter because Ziggs has the kill and the entire turret. Faker here running towards the blue. Really nice stun. He's trying to get onto the blast plant, but he will not be able to. Owner over the wall now. Keria has to try to run away as well. Effort's super low. He tanked a lot of that damage, and now they're looking to go for a dive here. This is a 5-on-3. Kana does not have teleport, and actually they decide not to go for it.
Yeah, he doesn't have teleport. He's just going to get a lot of extra pushing power done here on the bottom side of the map, though. Like, he's just free farming right now. You're going to get something. Chains connect.
Okay, looks like they might be able to get Keria here, but the Trundle pillar is so annoying. They can't get out. They can't get away from King Trundle. And look at Kroko over the wall. He is so trapped as well. This game is all but done. Gumayusi picks up yet another kill.
Sleeper OP pick, the Trundle. Is he a jungle? Is he a top laner? No, he's a mid support. And now they're going to get another turret for Gumayusi. And I got to tell you guys,
they're gonna kill it.
I think this game is over at the 11.5-minute mark, because now there's no way back into this game for Liv Sandbox. Look at the comp that they're running right now with this Renekton, right? The Renekton is going to lose so much power, doesn't even have his first item online just yet, isn't going to be able to skirmish around these first few objectives anymore because the ship has sailed.
Look at this.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it. We've already seen it. I'm like, I want to keep watching. I saw it in the bottom lane. Now
you can't avert your eyes. You cannot avert your eyes.
Yeah, it's my job to watch it, and it makes me sad to watch that turret die so sadly here.
Can we get a read on how much gold Ziggs has right now?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I mean, he's probably, what, 3,000 up, I'd say? That might be a bridge too far. Well, I don't know, 202?
Well, Trundle did steal a lot of some of that plate gold, okay?
Yeah, that's true. So the plate gold's got split.
Yeah.
But they also got first turret.
Yeah.
Which was given to him, and he got a full second turret, yeah. So all the plates. As, I mean, might as well just harass this level 7 Varus with your ultimate, why not? That's a third of his health bar gone. And it's right before...
Yeah.
No objective at all, it just doesn't matter. I actually was thinking the second retrial was closer along than it was, but it's still a ways away.
And this is perfect timing for Gumayusi to just sit in the mid lane and say, well, you're never getting this turret, because from behind you can sit here as Ziggs and never allow them to push the turret unless they dive. From ahead, well, you can push the mid turret too. Maybe you can get some plates here.
Right now, Faker is also, like I was mentioning before, just getting so much extra farming done in the side lane for free. And unfortunately, because the Ziggs is so powerful, look what happens when they try to punish Faker.
Yeah, he's dead.
Like, you're like, oh, maybe we can collapse up here, hide that we're going to collapse on Faker. Nope, no, you can't. And it's just so oppressive.
Good miss. And look at this. Keria's even getting in there, but that's a lot of damage coming out from Gwen and Lucian, but it's not quite enough. As Gumayusi, he's not even in trouble, even in the face of 4 members of Liv Sandbox. Gets over there.
And Faker's free farming. Gets away with this completely, and now you're going to have another Drake as T1. I mean, this snowball is well and truly rolling down the hills. You see this rotation of effort alone, but Prince was right behind him as they see Faker pushing up there, and they're like, okay, we know Owner is probably nearby. We can actually group and look for the spike because Kroko and Fade are top, but you're just so far behind.
Oh, what? Effort's not having a fun time in this game, and this game is...
Like I said before,
really out of control.
It's probably at the end.
You actually talked about when we were looking at the drafts the amount of you made the roller coaster analogy,
yeah.
Right? It's like it can give you a little swift kick over the top. This is what I was talking about, that little combo you can do with the bomb and the pillar. You can't get away from it.
Nope.
As Varus, if you don't have a dash, you're always going to get hit by it. And as Gumi gets more and more items, it just becomes more and more impressive.
Now they're just going to go down here and take this Drake for free. They got a kill beforehand that I didn't think they were necessarily going to get, but they got effort somehow. We'll probably get a replay of that momentarily, but he dies. It's a guaranteed Drake. And we talked about how the scaling of T1's composition is just so oppressive later on, but we didn't talk as much about how strong this comp can be early. And when the Trundle goes support, you have kill pressure in bot. It's successful. You get a full set of plates. You get the top plates too because there's nothing to stop you anymore. And now, like, this Victor who is 0, 1, and 2, Faker still doesn't have his mythic yet, is going to be a menace later on too. And when we go to like potentially Baron later on, like how do you ever expect to win that fight as Liv Sandbox anymore? It's just not going to happen. You're not going to win any objective fights. You're not getting any Drakes. You're not getting any Barons. And Varus is like, also, no items here. Nothing whatsoever.
What is happening right now on the map?
This is what happens when two teams that are extremely strong at early game collide and one team gets a massive lead.
They're just taking 3 turrets for free. Yes, Liv Sandbox got 1. Okay, this is maybe a fair fight, but nope. Owner's in there, and the flash over the wall, and everything goes wide. Finally, Faker gets hit by something, but there are a lot of members of Liv Sandbox over here. They're going to be able to get the 2 flashes away, but you want more than that. You want kills. You want waves back into the game, and them surviving is not good enough.
Second Rift Herald here is not amazing for Liv Sandbox either because there's so much wave clear for T1 with this composition to shut down any big pushes. So maybe if you were able to get that, which by the way they do not, but if you were able to get that, you might be able to get a charge into mid and grab that goal, but you're never going to be able to equalize 5 turrets to 1 at this stage, as this is going to be how Effort dies here, just caught clearing a ward because
he's level 6.
He's level 6, and Kana was over here clearing vision away because Drake spawns in about like 25 seconds at this point, and he sees him there, and he's like, well, got Heartbreaker, I'm going to go finish you off. You're not safe anywhere on the map right now.
Yeah. He just never expected someone to come up from the river, I guess, but with no vision, you have to respect that. You can't just assume nobody's down there.
And it's super realistic to expect someone will be there because the Drake was spawning for 25 seconds, so...
Exactly.
Well, this one is well and truly rolling away from Liv Sandbox as the acceleration of that cart down the roller coaster is faster and faster by the moment. Faker also surviving there is pretty huge. Now he's at level 11, had a chance to go by his Ludens. It's pretty ludicrous the advantages that this Trundle lane ended up getting T1 here.
Yeah.
They turned a comp that scales very well into an extremely lethal one in the early parts of the game. And the thing is, it didn't even have to go this well. It didn't even have to be this much of a lead for T1 for them to have the ability to team fight later on.
Yeah.
But with the lead, we didn't even get to talk about the game. We didn't even get to talk about what Liv Sandbox's composition has to offer because it doesn't have anything anymore.
Yeah.
Baker free silencing again.
Yeah, not in this game where you're 6,500 gold behind. Now, I mentioned it before, the one way to actually kill the Ziggs that's under the turret is to try to dive it. And you can see Effort is trying, but the rest of his team is not really on the same page with that idea. From this far behind, it's not really a thing you can do.
Oh, he's dead.
Prince is getting really frustrated, you can see. Trying to make a play happen, and he may have just baited his team into a fight.
Yeah, he lives, but I don't know if I can say the same about everybody else.
Yeah, they're going to get on top of Summit here, and everybody's just running away on Liv Sandbox. They absolutely know that they cannot fight this one. And take a look at this, the Pillar and the Chaos Storm and the Gravity Field. You're not getting away from anything. Trundle support is broken.
All right, I want to see... This is one of these sleeper O picks every now and then. You know, you have the sleeper O pick, and then suddenly one team decides they're going to be the first one to reveal it, and then suddenly it's everywhere because everybody's been holding on to this one. Maybe we can wait until playoffs before you show this one. Then Damwon and Kia just had to let the cat out of the bag. Maybe it was Tall who played it mid who really started the wheels turning in everybody's brain, but I gotta say, it's looking real strong right now as we are gonna see almost an inhibitor go down here before 20 minutes with just lane pushing.
Yeah, like
no Baron,
is this
nothing.
The second series or the first series? I don't remember because it really feels like the first series. That was Damwon against DRX. The games ended in 22 minutes and the comps didn't necessarily matter. It's feeling a bit like that.
I really like T1's adaptations in this draft, and I will admit, as you guys know, that this composition made me wonder, will T1 be able to play for the scaling and the power that Ziggs gives you later on? But when the Trundle became support, and we saw the kill pressure, and we saw how well prepared this strat looks from T1, I mean, it looks like an early game component, and it is when you win this hard. So we just watch all the CC. You mentioned the Gravity Field on top of the Chaos Storm and the Trundle Slow, the Pillar. It's pretty gross. And now that's going to be the third Drake here. Sub 20 minutes, Soul Point here. It's a speed run for T1. And you know what? As soon as they take this, they can go get a Baron. Keria, 4 levels down, doesn't even care.
He didn't even use his ultimate. Like, he's still just running at Summit. Oh, man. This is hilarious. He's 2,000 gold ahead of Braum as well, but that's just because of the way that the bottom lane went and how many plates they split, and turrets they got. Just some insane stuff. And, you know, I think a bit of it was maybe Prince and Effort not having so much experience against a lane like this. You really have to, especially at level 2, like, you can't be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
And against Ziggs, like, if you're not going to get level 2 first, I mean, you're just going to take way too much. Keria, he's got Flash. He will be forced to use it here.
I mean, your first tent is the Halo Blades, right? And then you have to be like, okay, well, there's a chance they're in that bush. You have to respect the possibility. And then they lost their summoner spells early, and then it's Owner. And okay.
Nice little catch here. They're going to get the jungler of T1.
I cursed him.
And now Keria, he doesn't have his flash. He has to subjugate. He also dies. And all of a sudden, you know, Live Sandbox, they're still 7,000 gold down, but, you know, a couple of picks here and there. They're looking for Kana now, who got way in there. Faker's really angry. Nice satchel back from the side of Gumayusi, and that's actually what's going to be the kicker that pushes them away.
Now, it is 2 kills going over to Live Sandbox, and they are able to get a little bit of gold back here. But don't be fooled. This is one small mistake from T1, and, you know, a little bit of room for Live Sandbox, but the only objective up right now is Baron, and Live Sandbox are not in a place where their composition could do enough damage to actually take the Baron. So small overextension here from Owner gets punished. Then Keria, as you mentioned, flashless, is going to get taken out here by the culling. And you can see how Live Sandbox's comp can pick targets who are way overextended without summoner spells. But make no mistake, this is not a sign of better things to come just yet, because their composition does not have the power to 5v5. This is them catching 2 overextended members. But when we go into this next fight, which will probably be the Drake fight, because they cannot start Baron, I think we're going to see a very different scenario. In fact, I know we're going to see a different scenario.
It's so hilarious that, you know, the Trundle Pillar makes it much easier to hit that, but you don't even need the Trundle.
No.
You just drop it down, and it's like, okay, Prince, well,
It's pretty big.
good luck handling that.
T1, on the other hand, absolutely can start Baron if they can clear vision away. You have to be prepared for that potential inevitability here as Live Sandbox.
Yeah.
As we, I think, are going to see Horizon Focus now built next for Gumayusi. It's the way of things here. It's just starting to really get out of control. They're going to reset. They clear some of the vision, but they're not comfortable without everybody being grouped up to fully clear everything. The Horizon Focus is put together, as I mentioned. And now you can really start to posture this Baron very easily and look to even front-to-back team fight. You're missing some summoner spells here. Kana, right? Faker doesn't have his, Keria is still down. But I think you're very happy with your damage output. Like, between Faker and Gumayusi, unfortunately, Kana and Owner are just going to be overshadowed. Like, Kana's like, thank you for doing the damage to set up for my resets, because he works so perfectly with how much chip damage there is before the fight even begins. Summit's got his Sterax, which is usually a really exciting moment for Renekton. This one, it just feels like sadness.
Duskblade here for Prince. I suppose there is a very unlikely world where you can somehow poke out the Ziggs, but it doesn't look like this world. Gumayusi very much on his game. He's not missed a single ultimate so far.
I mean, look at the burn damage here even. On the Andres, it just really starts to stack up, right? And T1 are like, well, if you're not going to come to Baron to fight us, we're not going to do Baron. We just want to fight you. Well, come on, come out and play with us. I really want you guys to leave the house. Come on.
Whilst at the exact same time throwing bombs in their face. Yeah.
I want to play catch with you, Live Sandbox. Why don't you come out and play with us? Come on, I said Baron's up. Like, it's a good day for Baron. The weather's nice. I just want to see a 5v5 fight, and T1 just going to push the lanes, looking for potential inhibitors. Summit. Oh, there's half your health bar.
Same type of friend that says stop hitting yourself as he uses your arm to punch you.
Yeah.
Surely. Just trying to bully here a little bit.
Kana.
Okay, he has, but he pulls the 2 of them away, but it's not long enough or far enough away, so T1 will have to back away. No Heartbreaker now for the Viego, but he will sustain back to nearly full.
And instead of taking this pressure and going, well, Drake's spawning in 15, they know that Kroko and Fate are over here. Look at where Kana is right now. They're like, oh, now it's time to come out and play. I see you guys accepted my offer.
I like this from Live Sandbox.
And they hide away. Okay,
there
Faker's caught.
They're looking for Faker, but the damage comes out, and Prince is like, where's my follow-up, guys? Where is my follow-up? As they do get Faker, but immediately Prince is just going to get bombed from screens away. Now they're just trying to kite this one out once again. Summit is able to just stun them away as the pillar, quite annoying. Looking to actually turn it there a little bit as Owner and the rest of the squad not quite able to follow up.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 carries for T1 as it turns out, whereas unfortunately, try as he may, Fate is not going to be able to have the same sort of consistent impact in this team fight as a fed Gumayusi will. Owner can come over here and solo the Drake right now. Live Sandbox are going to go for one, desperate Hail Mary attempt, but the Scuttle is going to actually spot this.
Yeah,
and they know it. Yeah,
but it's not actually happening, so they can't exactly just run at it.
But they can just use a blue trinket to spot that it hasn't started yet, and now they're like, okay, well, good try, Live Sandbox, but it's not going to work out. You get nothing. This is the Willy Wonka, like, you lose.
Yeah.
Game over. Good day, sir.
And look at this. He's actually just running after Prince, and one pillar. You can certainly see some bombs thrown, and there it is. Welcome to more than a third of your health just gone and burned away. And it's just the Cloud Soul, but again, with that Cloud Soul, you got Zig's ultimate. It's not exactly a short cooldown, but it makes that even more annoying to handle. And everybody's going to be running around this rift real fast on the side of T1.
Not to mention, I mean, like, the amount of damage that Gumayusi can put off with this cooldown on his ultimate is, yes, Faker does die here, but the trade is not worth it. Unfortunately, like, when you're behind like this, you're like, oh, well, I'm just not able to trade, but you were hoping that maybe, just maybe, you get away with it. And unfortunately, Prince is the only one who can make that happen, but he's the only one who gets punished for it. As we're going straight back to live.
Uh-oh, Carrier. Be careful, buddy. Feel like that's the second time that's happened in this game. He has to flash away now. And Flash Pillar is one way you could potentially turn pretty well if you really wanted to catch someone out.
Summit, like, he's back here. He knows they don't have vision. He was able to sweep that out, but he will die before he can kill anyone. If he tries to go in alone, he needs more support, and there just isn't the damage. He's going to look for it.
Man, he popped his Dominus.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
He really wanted to get in there.
That's not going to happen, man. I have got bad news.
Yeah, meanwhile, Akana was below him. Not sure if he knew that. Oh, yeah, so about your health bars. See you later, health bars. And look at this. This is what you were talking about. The chip damage into the Heartbreaker is just like, yeah, good luck. If you're behind, you're not getting away. And that is just the end of it. As T1 are pushing down the mid lane, they're looking to potentially get us into this game 3 as Krako's just skipping through the mid lane, trying to catch the waves and deny this push. As the minions, you see there's not too many of them. They're able to get one of the Nexus turrets, and they'll just back away, take the inhibitor, and look to turn onto this mid wave that is coming in. As now they're able to catch bait. He just ran straight into the mist, and down he will go. As the rest of T1 will push in, and there is no hope here for Live Sandbox as Kana is just cleaning up, just waiting for those minions to push on in.
Coming in, and that is going to be us going through to a very quick third game. 2 extremely one-sided ones. This one, way more than the first, but we had 2 one-sided ones back-to-back. Draft difference, I think a lot of people will say after this game, the Zig's going through, but it's the execution of this bot duo that leads to such a massive advantage. And it's T1's spin on taking this composition that is extremely powerful in the late game, getting it fed early, and just running away